What's good, YouTube? It's a shitty day here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Just a couple days ago, it was fucking 80 degrees, damn near, and now it's 50 degrees, raining hard as fuck, ugly as fuck, and pretty shitty weather, which makes the mood pretty fucking makes the mood pretty depressing. And when shit like that happens, like just now, it pisses me the fuck off. But let me just pop my camera in a good spot. It's not good. Oh, there. But yeah, let me back this up. But yeah, guys, so pretty shitty weather, and just got me thinking here. Honestly, just got done with my first client of the day. Had a 6 a.m. and it went well. Client's making a lot of progress. She's a mom. She just trying to be fit. She's trying to look better. She's a single mom. Doing it for her kids, honestly, and just for her bettering herself, which is stuff that I love. You know, I just love making people's life better. Honestly, like and that's through fitness. That's the thing that I know the most, and I know it's one of the most powerful things when somebody's locked in completely on their self, on their fitness. And she's been on her grind. We've been talking about journaling together. We've been talking about, you know, reading the Bible, setting this routine to be consistent. And she used to smoke a lot of weed, and now she's slowly cutting back on just cutting out the weed. You know what I'm saying? Because she knows that weed was making her, you know, not as productive, and that was ruining her routines, ruining what she was eating, and she just felt like sluggish just from being high all day. And she was still going to work and everything, but she knows she wasn't her true potential. And that's the story where a lot of people are right now, and including myself. If you guys don't know my story, recap of my story. My whole life, I grew up seeing my parents work hard. My whole life, they worked multiple jobs. They worked all day. It was really me and my sister coming home and being alone because my parents were working. But we knew that they were working, you know, to come and support us when my mom was home. Because as we were younger, she started working less so she could take care of us, but she was still making tamales, making stuff that my mom or that my dad could go out and sell on the street. So my dad would work, and then my mom would make tamales and then sell that food on the streets after my dad was done working. So there was always a hustle. There was always working hard, and that's what was installed in my brain from a young age, that my parents are the hardest workers, my parents are hustlers, and that's something I should become. So my parents were always hard on me when I was going through school, because they knew, like, all this hard work they're doing, they wanted me to not ever have to work as hard as they were doing. And they were always hard on me in school, but school was never my thing. I was smart. I was very smart. All the teachers tell me that I was really smart and that I had a lot of talent, but I chose not to do it. They're like, man, if you just lock in, literally telling me to lock in. If I just locked in on the schoolwork, I could be really smart and have really good grades and be, because I'd catch on to things, I'd understand things, but I just wouldn't do the homework and I wouldn't prioritize it. During high school, my biggest focus was powerlifting. That was what I was pursuing. I was ranked number 1 when I was in my junior and senior year. I think I was number 1. I think that senior year I was number 1 in the rankings for nationals. But the thing is that right when I was a senior, it was COVID year, so my junior year, I had set the national squat record. I squatted 500 pounds at 163 pounds at the Wisconsin State Powerlifting, and I set the national record that meet. And I set that national record, and that was my main focus. I wanted to be the best powerlifter. I loved strength, and I loved competing. But right after that, nationals was gonna happen, and I was gonna compete at nationals, but I started just losing the love for it. And it was really just because I think at the same time I was scared of what I was gonna do as a 18-year-old, as a 19-year-old, going into the real world as an adult. I didn't. There was a lot of things, a lot of like self progress that I knew I needed to make in myself deep down. And I just was scared of my future, what I'm really gonna do. So I stopped powerlifting. The COVID year happened. The meets were actually canceled, and Worlds was canceled. And the Worlds ranking, I was looking at the totals for the people for that were gonna go to Worlds, and I was gonna battle for number one. It was gonna me and this other guy, and we were like, he was ahead of me by 5 kilos, which is like 10 pounds, and I was gonna battle for number one, and I think I would have been a world champion if I would have ran that meet. Definitely would. And but I stopped powerlifting, and then I went into college, and I started fighting. I was wrestling in high school. I was doing jiu-jitsu here and there, but I always loved fighting. I always loved boxing. I would hit the bag, but I never competed. I never trained till I was right when I was 17. Right as I started high school, I started doing jiu-jitsu a lot. I started striking, and so that's when I was like, fuck it, I'm done powerlifting. Let me just pursue this fight career. Because one of my cousins, he's now a UFC. He's in the featherweight division in the UFC. So that's what I grew up seeing too. But I wanted to pursue that too. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this, because I fucking hate school. I want to do anything but go to school and study. But I took that first semester, I failed every class, and that kind of got me into more depression. I'm like, damn, I just wasted a fucking semester. And I just bullshitted, and I'm now got $7K to pay off for this tuition. So I had that, and then fucking I went to the military right after. I'm like, man, fuck this shit, I don't know what to do, I'm going to the military. So I went to the fucking military, and I fucking graduated. That was one of the best. At the time it sucked just because it's the army, you know what I'm saying, like you're going to boot camp. But I was gonna be a National Guardsman, so I was gonna stay at home because I wanted to keep pursuing fighting. I didn't want to go active duty just because I wanted to keep fighting. And then I went into the military. I graduated. I got one of the highest PT scores. So I was like always in shape, you know what I'm saying? So I was doing good. That was a good moment where I was alone, and that was my first time outside of my parents' house, living on my own, and that kind of got me really grateful for my parents. And that's when I started thinking like, damn, I have to do something, because this is for my parents. Like, my parents worked too hard for me to be a fuck up and just be drinking all the time. Because going back to the drinking, my whole high school I was drinking. At 14 years old, I started drinking. I was drinking a lot. Me and my friends. My parents would always be working, so I would like have one of my friends come over, and we'd be drinking. We were so stupid. Like, I would literally grab NyQuil bottles and like try to make lean. Like, I was just stupid as fuck. And we were always drinking, throwing parties, like and just going out. And when football season started or track season started, we would party every weekend after meets or after games, and that was my lifestyle in high school. I'm from a small town in Wisconsin, where I went to high school, so there's nothing to do but, you know, drink and hang out with your friends and drink, have bonfires and drink. So that was my lifestyle. And now going into graduated, so going back, now I graduated fucking basic training, and now I'm coming back to the real world. I'm like, all right, so now I'm back to the fucking in the real world. I finished basic training, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to do now. I finished basic training, now I don't know what to do. And I'm like, fuck. And so I go back to college. I'm like, I'm gonna try this shit one more time. I'm gonna go back to college. Same shit happens. I don't do the fucking homework. I'm pursuing my fucking MMA career, and I'm like, fuck, this is all I have now. And then I keep pursuing this MMA career, but I take my first kickboxing fight last minute while I was partying. They called me. I'm like, hey, we have a kickboxing 2 weeks ago, because I started like not training as much. I wasn't training as much, and they were like, hey, we got this kickboxing fight 2 weeks from now. Man, like, this will be a good, I know you've been waiting for an MMA fight, because they were trying to find me a fight, but they couldn't get me a fight and they were like, I know you've been waiting for an MMA fight, but this would be a good time to get your foot into like your fight career started. So I'm like, fuck it. I took it. 2 weeks. I hadn't practiced for like a month. I hadn't trained for like a month, and I was just hitting the bag. I was running, but it was summer. I was just kind of chilling back, and I wasn't thinking anything of it, to be honest. So I took this fight 2 weeks, and I was really fucking nervous. And I took this fight and I won. It was a first round. We were throwing hands. I was fucking hyped as fuck. Like, my adrenaline was fucking rushing, and all my family's there. All my people were there when I was fighting, and I got a really supportive crowd that day. And I knocked dude out second round. But I was beating the shit out of him the whole time. My adrenaline was rushing. I was just throwing, literally street fighting him. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna sit here and be technical, but I'm just gonna make my first fight. I'm gonna let him know, like, I'm coming here to throw hands. Like, I don't give a fuck. And I knocked him out in the second round, and shit. It's because my coach, the first thing he said to me is like, bro, just don't even worry about it. Just go out there and fight like a Mexican and throw that. And then the whole time he was like, keep throwing that right hand. He can't take the right hand, because I was landing that bitch. I was just sticking him with the right hand, and yeah, and he was taller than me, so like by the time I would really fucking hit him with the right hand, man, I was cracking him. And like, I was throwing big circle punches too, but I was cracking him with the right hand. And it was pretty lit. And then after that, I kind of started like settling in. I'm like, damn, I'm a fighter now, so I'm gonna keep training. I was excited. I had my first fight. I'm like, I want to make my MMA debut. And for my MMA debut, I was really fucking locked in. I was working out every fucking day. I got shredded as fuck for my MMA debut, which was in November. So I was working out, and then they called me like October. I'm like, hey, we have a fight November. And then yeah, so like that 6 weeks of like training, but I was training consistently from there. But then 6 weeks of like knowing I'm gonna fight, I got in the best shape of my life. I was fighting at 135, and then again, boom, another good fight in Chicago, where I was born. I had a good crowd there too, and then yep, won my fight, first round knockout, or TKO, and that was lit. I was like, fuck, I'm an MMA fighter now. That's lit. And then but then after that, I had 2 wins where people were like hyping me up. Locally, people knew who I was, just because I really the Rufus Sport team that I was on, it's really popular. Everybody knows the Rufus Sport guys because they come out with good striking. Coach Duke Rufus has one of the best striking coaches in the world for a while. Milwaukee, home of world champions Anthony Pettis, Tyron Woolley, Sergio Pettis. So we had a lot of world champions in Milwaukee, so everybody pays attention to Rufus Sport. And my cousin, he was really, at the time, he was already in the Dana White Contender Series, about to make it to the UFC, so that helped a lot. And everybody kind of knew me, who I was locally in the area, and that kind of fucked me up. Like, I started boosting my ego, and I thought I made it already. I was like, the only thing it was like, when like, it was the girls, to be honest with you. This is the fucked up thing, is you're going out drinking alcohol after a post win, you know what I'm saying? And it's an amateur show, but at the time, like, when you start getting that attention that you never had before, like my whole life, my whole life in high school, I was never like, I was drinking and everything, but I wasn't really tripping about girls. Like, yeah, I'll talk to girls and I'll be like hanging out with girls, but for some reason, it wasn't my main priority. Like, I was like, I'm more like, I'm hanging out with the boys, boom, boom, boom. But then we'll be like, all right, let's where the girls at, you know what I'm saying? And then we hang out. But me on my own, now I was like, all right, yeah, women, like, I was always trying, talking to girls and shit, but it wasn't like my main priority. But as soon as I started getting the attention, where like they'd be like coming up to me, like and like, just girls knowing me, like talking to me, like, it was just like everywhere I go, they'll be like, oh, more, boom, like I'll be going out. And when that happened, it started getting to my head. I started drinking a lot more. I started going out more. I was you know what I'm saying, like buying shit a lot recklessly. And my next 2 fights, my third one I lost, and then my fourth one I lost again. But that was one of the biggest robberies ever, and I was so fucking mad because I got robbed that fight in another dude's hometown. It was a close fight. It went to decision. It wasn't really close though, because all he was doing was running, and he was landing this low kick. But 1, I had a takedown. 2, I was walking him down. And 3, I was way more active than him. He was circling. I was shooting. I shot for a takedown. I fucking dropped him with my right hand that landed into a takedown. So like an overhand that I took to a takedown. I was walking him down with my punches, and he was just trying to circle. And then once he was up to the cage, I finding knees. I was trying to throw the left kick, but the whole time he was running, and they gave him, just because he was landing this low kick. As I was walking him down, he was trying to low kick me, and they gave it to him. So after that pissed me the fuck off, that I was like, fuck this shit. Like, why am I doing this shit? And I got to this point where I'm like, I don't know what to do. Again, like, I started getting really, like, I was really down because of these past 2 fights. They didn't go my way. And at the end of the day, now that I look back, that is a quitter's mindset. But deep down, now that I look back at it, it's like, okay, it could be a quitter's mindset, but at the end of the day, I feel like I wanted to do it, but after getting a taste of like what a fighter's life is gonna be like, I know that's exactly not what I want my life to look like. I like training every day. I love working out. I love sparring. I love hitting the bag. I love running. I love training, you know what I'm saying? Taking a kickboxing class, taking a jiu-jitsu class. But every day, multiple hours a day, it starts getting boring. And it was getting boring, and it's the boring work that sets people apart in that fight life. But I knew that's, in reality, yeah, I know that's what's gonna be like, but it's not what I wanted. So moving on then, my cousin, he won a fight right after that. So that last fight that I had was in March, and he won an April fight when he was fighting Raul Rosas Jr. In April, and he beat him. He was the underdog. I put all my money that I had left in my bank account on him, and I had like $700 left, and I had like $1,000 left in my bank account that I was getting because after my last fight, I started working at my parents' restaurant a little bit more, so I started getting money, and I was still living with my parents. So I had like $1,000 that I was like, all right, fine, I had to get money, because my whole fight career I wasn't working. I was door dashing for a little extra money, but I wasn't getting money, you know what I'm saying? So I had $1,000 left, and that's all I had. I had to gamble that shit. I'm like, I'm gonna flip this shit real quick, because I really believed in my cousin so much. So all the money I had left, I put it on my cousin. Boom, turn that shit to 3K, because he was the underdog. So I had 3K. I'm like, let's go. I'm hyped up. And then it's April. It's in Miami. I went to Miami. I went to Miami. So I went to Miami. I was there. I was up 3K. And fuck, I was going out there. I'm like, fuck, this is the lifestyle. Like, I love going out. The thing was dope as fuck. The beach, everywhere you go, like pretty women everywhere. And I was like, fuck. And then I started drinking a lot. As soon as I came back, like the after parties, we were drinking, and I fell off, bro. I literally fell off. Every single weekend, drinking way more. All I cared about was girls and fucking going out, and I'd work out, but I wasn't locked in. Like, I didn't really care about anything but women. And this was really my downfall, and it might not seem crazy to be like, all right, bro, you're living life, like you were having fun, but that time span lasted from March all the way till, how long did this last? All the way till like November. It was like a whole fucking something. The March, the spring, the summer, and then all the way to like the early fall. like August, September is when, like right away when fall started. My bad, my fucking phone ran out of storage. But I was saying, I was looking back, and then I was like, damn, I spent this whole spring, this whole summer fucking drinking, partying, wasting my money. So I decided to lock in. So from September, I tried to start this e-commerce store. I was doing this e-commerce. I was spending a lot more money than I was making money. And then I started working this full-time job where I was slaving. I ended up working like 80 hours a week. I was working at my parents' restaurant. I was working at my parents' restaurant full time. I was working like 50 hours a week. I wanted every shift. I'm like, I'm gonna work here all day. I'm gonna stack hella money. I ended up bringing like 3K monthly home. I was a waiter, 3K, sometimes 3.5. So I was good money for a waiter. And then I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna take another job. I need to maximize my time. I need to do everything I possibly can to get money right now. So money started becoming my motivation, because I'm like, I just wasted so much fucking time from when I was 17 to now I was 21 years old. And from that 17 to 21, I'm wasting so much time. I didn't fucking graduate school. I did 2 semesters of school and I dropped out. I fucking I quit my powerlifting career. I quit my MMA career, and now I have no option, but I have to make bread. I have to get money. So I started getting money, and then I took another job because I wanted more. I need to maximize the time. I was working from 11 to 9, so I'm like, what am I doing from 5 a.m. to all the way to 11 to whatever. So I was like, I talked to my dad, and he fixed my schedule. I was gonna work every day from 4 to 9. We were closed on Mondays, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was working 4 to 9. And then I'd work I started working at this warehouse that was paying really good, because it's a slave fucking job. They were paying $26.88 an hour. This is slavery job though. You're out there, they're on your ass, they want you to go faster, and you have to pick orders, and you're moving like water bottles, and you're going fast. So it was slavery work, but they were paying $26.88. And I started working there, and I would pick up overtime shifts so it was from 5:30 to 2, but then I would stay until like 3, usually every day, to get that extra hour overtime. Anytime after 8 hours it's a time and a half, so that hour was worth damn near like $40. So I was making hella money. On my days off, I'd go in. So I'd work 5-6 times a week, and I'd clock out anything. I would clock out like 60 hours. Sometimes I'd go in on Sundays, and that'd be another time and a half. So I would clock in so much money. And there was times where I was working, for a period, I was working like 80 hours a week at the warehouse. I was working 60 hours a week consistently at the warehouse, and then another 35 at the restaurant. I think it was almost like 90 hours, but I was working hella, and I was still running my e-commerce store. I was still trying to personal develop. I started reading every day, journaling every day, and I had a support system with me and my friend where we were holding each other accountable of what we read and things we took away from it. So I was really working on myself. But this whole time I was working hella. I was working on myself, but I'm like, damn, I stacked up hella money, but this life sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing. Like, I have no time for my family. I have no energy. I haven't even worked out. I got super skinny. I was moving a lot at the warehouse, but I got shredded. But I was skinny. I lost a lot of muscle because I was working so much. I was sleeping like 5 hours a day, 4 to 5 hours a day. And I'm like, fuck, I need to find a way where I can make this much amount of money, but not be slaving as much, because at the end of the day, this can only last, this fire can only last so long. So what am I going to do to maximize my life and make it happen and still be disciplined every single day? So I'm like, I have to build a skill. I have to find something that I'm good at. And then I started working from November. That's when I started at the warehouse, but I started being locked in, working hella at September. So it was the whole winter, fall, winter, and all the way to the beginning of spring again. The beginning of spring again, March comes. And the weather starts getting nice. More invites start happening. My friends are like, bro, we haven't seen you in years. Like, where have you been at? I stacked up 21K at this time. And I stacked all this money, and fucking start going out, and I start working less because I'm like, I gotta work less. Like, I started burning out. I'm like, bro, this life sucks. Like, I'm gonna work less. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm done with this warehouse. I stacked the money. I'm gonna just work at my parents full time again. So back to like 50-40 hours a week, but I'm working hella. I'm like, all right, 21K, I'm gonna be smart. And then March comes, and then I'm like, fuck, I start going out drinking again. And then I'm like, I need to find something else to do. So that's when I decided I'm gonna become a personal trainer. I started looking at areas that I wanted personal training, and luckily at the gym where I would train MMA, one of the gym owners was, or one of the people that would train MMA at that gym, he would train jiu-jitsu. He was a gym owner. So I talked to him, and we set up a meeting, and I told him I have no certifications, but I've been working out all my life. I was a powerlifter. I fought MMA. Like, I know everything about training. I've been doing this. I've been helping other guys. Everybody would come up to me. All the fighters would come up to me for strength training advice because they saw like I was strong, like my build and everything, my explosiveness, and they would always come up to me. So I've been helping people on this whole journey. So I know I might not have a paper to show it, but I'm completely overqualified to be a personal trainer. I am the best personal trainer. Bro, I had a national squat record. I was ranked #1 powerlifting. Like, strength training was my thing, and I always help people. In high school I would write people programs at school, and I would fucking like give them to people. Like, I would go, like, during class I'd be like working on a program for another guy and be like, here you go, bro, boom, program, boom. That's what I did. I've been doing this shit. So the whole time when I'm figuring out what I want to do, from the time where I stacked 21K to when I needed to find something, I'm like, bro, this is what I've been doing. I've been doing this my whole life. Everybody asked me for this. Why not turn this to a business? Why not make this my lifestyle and make this like part of me? Make it a business. I always train people for free, and I'll give them free programs, but nobody would actually take it serious. Nobody would follow through. But the biggest thing was because that emotion. That's when I started watching videos on personal training. I started watching Brandon Carter. I started watching other personal trainers. That's the biggest thing people would say, like, free stuff. People don't acknowledge that. People don't value that. You gotta give an exchange of your time and skills and everything you know for their money. So there's now a sentimental value in between that. So that's what I learned the most about before I started personal training. So I started personal training and I started doing this, but I thought again, summer came, drinking hella. I thought I figured out, oh, I'm a personal trainer now, but I had to build my clientele. I had to get people to trust me. I was trying to build my clientele. I was trying to start my online. My online wasn't doing good at all because I didn't have transformations yet. I didn't have proof of me working, even though I know I'm one of the best trainers. So at this time, I'm like, fuck, like, I'm not getting enough clients. I'm working at the restaurant, and I don't have enough clients to like even like just personal train. So I had to work at the restaurant and still personal train. And I was living in Burlington, in that hometown, and I was driving to Milwaukee back and forth every single day. Even in my fight career, I was always driving back and forth. So I was used to it, but I was wasting a lot of money on gas. And I'll train people in the morning, go back to Burlington, work at the restaurant, come back for a couple of training sessions later at night. So that was my life. And I thought the summer came in and I thought I had it all figured out. And then I invested a lot of money into like mentorships that I didn't like actually use. So I bought the Brandon Carter's mentorship. I bought like this other guy's mentorship, like 2 other guys' mentorship, and I bought another like bodybuilding coach. I hired a bodybuilding coach. So I spent a total of close to 20K on mentorship. So I go back to fucking $0, and I also fucking wasting a lot of money. Even though money's coming in from that 21K, money was still coming in because I was working a lot. But I invested in these mentorships, I had $0 again. 21K, invested all my mentorships. But the thing is, I could have saved myself if I wasn't drinking a lot. I started drinking every weekend again, at least every other weekend, And because summer was coming, spring was there, and I started drinking hella, going out again, spending $200 weekly. Think about it like that, $200 weekly. That's fucked up. So
incoming call. Press the
fuck, I have a call.
to answer. Incoming call.
So I started drinking a lot, and then I look at my bank account, I have fucking $0 left. So I'm like, what the fuck? So that whole summer, it was my birthday about to come, and I'm like, my birthday was coming in August, and that whole summer, spring, I was drinking hella, same bullshit. There's not even much to say about that phase. It was the same shit all over again, drinking, trying to talk to girls, fucking, just wilding, being a man and shit. Like, not a man, I was being a boy. And I started realizing, like, what the fuck am I doing? There's no progress being made. Yeah, I work at the restaurant now, but I make less money because I'm not working at that warehouse anymore, and I'm trying to personal train, and I'm not taking it off. So I was hosting this birthday party at my house, and in my mind it was like, this is the last fucking time I'm gonna throw this fucking party. I'm gonna celebrate my birthday, and I'm gonna drink, but it's the last ride. That's what I was saying to myself. So I throw this last ride. Long story short, I get drunk as fuck, and I fucking black out. I was trying to talk to this girl. I'm not even gonna get into that. I was talking to this girl, but basically, I was talking to this girl. I was trying to talk to this girl, but I ended up going with another girl, and that girl got mad. So I had to, like, you know what I'm saying, come back to that. I had to, like, I was like, fuck, I fucked up so bad. I already fucked up my situation. I got this girl mad, even though I want this girl for real, and I don't even know what happened. I just blacked out with the other girl. So it was a fucked up situation, really fucked up. That ruined a lot for my relationship. Luckily, things ended up working out, and now that girl is my wife. So, but she knows the story. She knows my story, and kind of what got into my head. And I ended up proving myself that, one, I have a lot of values. I am a man with ambition. I'm a man with, at this point, this is when I was changing my life. I was really looking at things differently, and I'm like, all I know is that she fits all my qualities. This new girl I was talking to, she fits all my quality. I just need a woman that's gonna hold it down, because this is my dreams, these are my aspirations, this is what I'm gonna do. Because at this point, when it was my last ride, my last drinking day, or my last big partying day, I was trying to fix my life, and I knew, it's like, what are the things holding me back? And I knew that I didn't want to think about it like women, like lusting, and I needed somebody to hold it down so I can fully go on my career. I have my girl who's with me, who supports me, who shows me love, who actually values me as a man for what I can do. And that's all I need in this world. If all these other, like, having hella bitches and all that shit, that's bullshit. So boom, that happened. And now everything after that, everything after I started talking to my girlfriend now, I started locking in, working on myself. I wasn't going out anymore. I was not drinking anymore. I was just working out, focusing on my personal training, focusing on my clients, focusing on getting more clients, focusing on becoming a better man, becoming a better son, becoming a better brother to my sister, and becoming a better boyfriend every single day. That's all I cared about. And then December comes, me and my girl are doing good, and then I'm like, all right, it's time to move out. Even though I was trying to pay back all this money that I had lost. So at the end of this, I still had, like, I still didn't have a lot of money. I only had like $700 because I was paying a lot back, to all my debt that I had. And I had to raise the stakes. I'm like, I need something that's gonna push me to become the best version of myself. And I'm not gonna do it at home, because I come at home, I don't wanna work, I don't wanna do any extra social media stuff, I don't wanna work on my clients. I'm just lazy when I come at home. My home was my comfort zone, where my parents are, where my dogs are. It was my comfort zone. So I had to find a way to raise the stakes and get better, get stronger, mentally better. So I moved out of my parents' house, and I got a cheap apartment, and that's where I'm at now. And through this time, I've become the best version of myself. I've been working on myself, becoming better, and now I'm at this new apartment, and I stacked up a lot of money here. I made a lot of money, and it was all through fitness. When I moved out of my parents' house, I knew I was gonna go all in on fitness because my clientele got bigger through that time. When me and my girlfriend started dating, and I was really locked in, my clientele grew. I was able to replace my restaurant income, so I was only making $3K at the restaurant, but I'm making $3K personal training now, working less hours. So I'm like, fuck it. If I can do this now, I'm gonna fucking lock in, and this is gonna be I'm on my road to 10 bands monthly minimum, plus my online. And now I started selling my online clients. And the thing is that where personal trainers fuck up is that they're just going for a paycheck. I don't give a fuck about a paycheck. Yes, money is a goal. Money is something that I'm building, but I'm focusing on building transformations. The thing that's gotten me more clients now, and better clients that are willing to work with me no matter what, is because I'm focusing on that transformation. I change people's bodies. I make them the best version of themselves. I make them the leanest, most ripped, most strongest version of themselves, and that's what really matters. Not just getting paid, be like, oh, here's a session, and I'm gonna gatekeep shit because I want you to keep coming to me. No, I don't gatekeep shit. I tell my clients exactly everything they need to know while we're training, and anything after training to know about the nutrition, to master the nutrition, master their training, and master their mentality, mindset that's gonna help, and everything is gonna keep everything a cycle. That's what I focus on. That's why I have my clients in person. I send them meal plans. We get our training sessions, but I have this Skool community that I built now where everything is laid out, from every modules to learning about nutrition, learning about training, learning about mindset. Everything is all put together. That way you can actually understand what the fuck I'm talking about. And you're not only are you doing it, you're learning as you go, because you shouldn't need me for the rest of your life. You need me for a time period, 6-12 months. And from that, you understand, you master everything, you learn everything about nutrition, training. You're doing every day. You holding yourself accountable, and I hold yourself accountable. And now you're on the roll, and you're ready and able to leave. And that brings in more clients for me. Instead of keeping you forever, that brings in more clients for me, because I know that I changed you, and you know that from the transformations. We build a transformation before and after. It goes crazy. And now that alone brings in more referrals. They're like, hey, how'd you lose fucking 100 pounds, bro? How did you fucking lose hella body fat? How did you get strong as fuck? I trained with Moy. He taught me everything. Boom, client. And that's way better. That's where trainers fuck up. They expect people to be with them forever. They want long-term clients instead of building the craziest transformations that brings in more referrals, that brings in more clients. So that's where I focused on, and that's what's been helping with me. So the moral of this story is that you have to raise the stakes. You have to raise the stakes, because if you see my whole life period, and I'm going to break this down from why I told you guys my whole life. From the beginning part of my life, I was comfortable. I was sitting comfortable. I was living at home. I was being okay with not going to school. I was okay with pursuing fighting, but not doing anything more, not being fully locked in, not raising the stakes. Like, this is my back against the wall. When I decided to move out of my parents' house, I put my back against the wall. I had $700 left, and I left. And I'm like, I'm done. Everything I'm doing here is sitting me comfortable. When I was at home, I was drinking a lot. When I was at home, I was focusing on women, and I wasn't fully pursuing my career, what I want to do in life, because I was comfortable. You have to get into a point where you're uncomfortable as fuck. You have to be uncomfortable, because that uncomfortableness is going to put that dog out of you. If you're sitting there comfortable, you're stacking hella money. I stacked hella money, but I was in a comfortable situation when I have no bills, nothing to pay, no fucking food to buy. I have everything with my parents. I was living with my parents. That doesn't work. You have to get uncomfortable, because that's how you become the best person of your life. When I left my fucking parents' house, I came into this apartment where I'm at, parked outside it now, and I had nothing in my pocket, nothing. And I had to find a way to make it. So I had to go all in into what I really wanted to do, which I was training. And now I'm sitting here making this video, and I'm about to go move into my second apartment. My lease ends in June 30th, so a month from now, and I'm looking for a bigger, better apartment. It's gonna be a little nicer, still economic because I'm still trying to stack bread. That's still the mission, still trying to be smart. But I raised the stakes, and now I'm gonna raise the stakes again. I'm gonna raise them even higher. I'm gonna move into this new apartment where I have more responsibility, more bills to pay, but I know that this is gonna push me to make more money. This is how my brain operates. My brain operates from me being pushed against the wall and finding a way to make it happen. I have to, or else if I'm sitting there comfortable, I'm not gonna make shit happen. I have to become the best version of myself by putting my back against the wall and making shit happen. If you're sitting there comfortable, there's no room for you to grow. There's no ambition, there's no drive, there's no I have to make this happen. And that's where a lot of men fuck up. A lot of men fuck up from being comfortable, from having all the girls, from having all the alcohol, from having all the drugs and being quick and easy. Oh yeah, whatever. I'm here, yeah. Boom, this place is too cheap, or I can make more money. It doesn't push me. That's sitting there comfortable. I have to move out of this place because it's getting too cheap for me. It's not giving me like, fuck, I have to pay the bills, like that. It's not working. So I'm raising my stakes and making it happen. And that's the moral of the story. As men, we have to raise our stakes, become the best version of ourselves. If you're sitting there at your current apartment and the bills are getting too easy, you have to raise the stakes or find something. Invest in yourself. Invest in a skill to help you get smarter. We're young right now. As 20 years old, I'm 22 years old, but anywhere from 20 years old, you have to invest in yourself first. Then you can invest in other things, business and everything, but you have to invest in your mind, invest in who you want to become. You have to become the best version of yourself. If you're sitting there with no fucking like scared, you have to be scared a little bit. You have to sit there scared of like, fuck, I have to find a way to make this happen. I might fail. There has to be that. If you don't have that, then you're scared. The fights, then you're not gonna see progress because you're not scared. The fights that I lost was because I wasn't scared anymore. I thought I was godly. I thought I was untouchable, and that fucked me up. You have to get scared. You have to take competition that's gonna scare you and make the best version of yourself. That's what I learned through fighting. The fights that I did the best was where I was a little fucking scared. My first fight my first fights where I was in MMA and kickboxing, I was scared shitless. I was like, fuck, I'm nervous as fuck. But then the fight that I lost, I was beating the shit out of him. I was beating the shit out of him the whole time, except I got caught in the third round, last fucking minute. And but I was scared shitless in that fight too. And then my last fight was a complete robbery that I didn't give it my all just because I wasn't scared. I was drinking before that, and I thought this guy was easy money, and I ended up being a split decision even though I got robbed. But at the end of the day, it's because I didn't raise my stakes. You have to fucking put your back against the wall. As a man in 2025, put your back against the wall. Make shit hard for you. Make shit scary. This time period from 20 to 30 years old, you should be getting scared shitless every single day of finding a way to happen. And keep doing that. That's going to not only build your mind, but build your skills of what you have to do to make more money, to be better at your career. That's building your skills because you're forced to make it happen. And that's it, man. 2025, guys. Raise the fucking stakes. Follow me on Instagram daily. You'll see my daily stories, my daily lifestyle on what I do as I'm raising my stakes now as a man. And subscribe to this YouTube channel for more motivation, more mindset talks, more just talking, you know what I'm saying, learning, fucking helping other men grow while I'm growing too. So that's my main goal. That's what I'm trying to do. So make sure tap in and she pick my brain. And if you want to join my Skool community where we talk about this more deeply, we have other people that you all see that are growing, they're working on themselves, and they're just a community full of like-minded individuals like me that are trying to pursue their mindset, their fitness, and become the best version of themselves. I'll put that link in the bio. It's free, and it's a dope community for everybody to join. So thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a long video, but this is my story, and this is why I'm raising my stakes forever now. Peace.